Hello everyone. Second news update for our Patreon and Boosty communities for 7th of July. Now it's about 8 o'clock in the evening Moscow time, and well, me and family members come out for a little walk this evening, and why not to record the second news update, dear friends. I will use at least some part of the news segment to publish on YouTube and Rumble as advertise sort of our Patreon and Boosty communities. Hopefully it will attract more interest among members of our bigger community to join us. So that's being said, I'll give you now a news segment, and as previous video, dear friends, I will make some short clips in different parts of on the way of our evening walk, and I will add those videos. So hopefully you will like this video. We are now on Tverskaya Boulevard. Probably many of you this area. Let me just show you some views. I mean, boulevard is done nicely, as always, sir. And you know, definitely nice area to go for a walk. And you can see on your screen, many people are enjoying themselves. But nevertheless, let's go through some news now. And well, I will start with the breaking news, which is that a former transport minister, ex-transport minister of the Russian Federation, was found dead at about 3 p.m. Today. And early this morning, there was reports in the media that Russian president fired basically this person. I didn't report about it because very little information was known. So during the morning live stream, I didn't really mention it because things happen. Sometimes people resign, and not always information is available. Sometimes people are leaving the position for some personal reasons. So I was waiting for more information to become available, and well, maybe we should go that way because it's really noisy there. And at afternoon, news broke that this person was found dead. He killed himself, basically, according to preliminary information. Let me give you some details on that. Excuse me. So, former Russian transport minister Roman Starovoyt found dead, according to media reports. Starovoyt's body was discovered at his in a district where he lives, according to preliminary data, in Moscow region, following a sudden cabinet dismissal on Monday. So he was dismissed, as I already said, by Russian president this morning. He previously served as a Kursk region governor. His former deputy is under investigation over embezzlement of the border defense project, and also investigation was indeed conducted into Starovoyt's involvement in a theft during the construction of the fortifications in Kursk region. Source in law enforcement agencies told the RBK news agency. And well, when this news broke, probably many people automatically think that maybe he was involved in some dodgy affairs. And once law enforcement agencies gather enough information on that, President of Russian Federation was informed. He fired this minister, and then I guess under the stress, and according to reports, today he was summoned to go into law enforcement agencies for questioning, and few hours before he supposed to go to law enforcement agencies, he killed himself. Preliminary information was that he shot himself with a handgun in his vehicle in Odintsovo district, Moscow region. And lately, little later, after a few hours, additional information began spreading on internet that he did not kill himself in a car. He killed himself not far away from the car in some green area, in some isolated park, let's say. I saw a video of the place on internet, and probably he didn't want it to make too much noise. He didn't shoot himself in a car because who knows, he could accidentally kill someone else. Bullet, that is. I don't know, obviously, what is going on in the mind of individuals that are committing suicide, but probably he was extremely stressed, and that's the way he decided to deal with the situation. Obviously, investigation is underway, and I guess in upcoming days we will learn some more about investigation itself, about involvement of this particular person in some possible unlawful activity. It's just too early now to have any better understanding of their situation, but when I hear that he was fired, I mean, first thought was that probably he was engaged in something. And let's see what investigation will say. In Russia, by the way, especially after 2022, by the way, last several years, the fight against corruption has activated tremendously, I will say, tremendously. You know my take on topic of corruption. I was always saying that corruption and corrupt officials are most dangerous enemy that Russia has. And I'm 100% convinced on that. And I guess Kremlin and leadership of Russia, President of Russian Federation, and law enforcement agencies are also on the same page. And I'm telling you, dear friends, I'm monitoring developments for all my adult life, isn't it? Especially on area of post-Soviet Union, and I have never seen this active and effective fight against corruption and corrupt officials in Russia as I'm observing it the last several years, by the way. So, which is good, obviously, which is a good development. Corruption has to be tackled and corrupt officials have to be neutralized, by the way. They have to be brought to justice. And in the process, some of these corrupt elements, might have a emotional breakdown, and things might happen. They might commit suicide, as in this particular case. But nevertheless, fight must go on. Fight against corruption, against corrupt officials must go on. This is just too important for the safety of the public, safety of the country. Okay, I will pause video now, and we will cross the road, and I will continue. Just let me turn the camera for a sec, just to show you some surroundings, by the way. We were walking on Tverskaya Boulevard, and this busy street is Tverskaya Street. Yet again, many members of community I guess, recognizing this area. So, okay, let's cross. Let's cross the road, and I will continue. Okay, we have crossed that street with the underground crossing, and we are now on Pushkin Square, by the way, right next to Izvestia office. Izvestia is, of course, a famous media outlet, and well, monument of Pushkin. And take a look at the greenery, by the way. It's how nicely done, isn't it? All over Moscow, all over Moscow. Administration definitely did a good job to, and does good job to make this city as green as possible, as comfortable as possible. So well done. And I will continue to walk around, and I wouldn't turn camera on me. I will just show you what I see. I will film it. Let's go this way. And meanwhile, I will continue to share with you the news. And next topic that I want to discuss is about progress of special military operation. According to RIA Novosti, Russian armed forces liberated Bisalovka settlement in a Sumy region, and Dachная settlement in the Dnipropetrovsk region. I had reported about Dachная previously, of course, but now we have official confirmation from Defense Ministry that settlements are liberated. So good progress of the Russian armed forces in DPR direction, in the Dnipropetrovsk direction, by the way, and in Sumy region. And of course, Russian armed forces have significant progress in DPR too, and I'm reporting about it literally on daily basis. Also, few more news. There is a theater there. What is the name of this theater? What is the name? Russia. That's a Russia theater. And let me continue with the news, dear friends. Lavrov made a quite interesting statements on sidelines of a BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And so let's go through some details here. Report is from RIA Novosti news agency. So Foreign Minister of Russian Federation, Sergei Lavrov, gave an interview to a Hungarian newspaper, Magyar Nemzet, and during the interview he called the principle of territorial integrity unacceptable in case of Ukraine. And he went to explain what he means by that term. The Kiev regime cannot lay claim to this principle. It applies to states that ensure equality and the self-determination of peoples. Lavrov recalled that Vladimir Zelensky called the residents of Donbass creatures at one point and called on them for the sake of the future of their children and grandchildren to get out of the so-called Ukraine and move to Russia. They followed his advice and voted in a referendum to return to home, to rejoin the Russian. Foreign minister said, and we have another quote here: since the Kiev regime does not represent the population of these regions, then according to international law, it cannot claim that the principle of territorial integrity applies to the Ukrainian state in its current. Let's continue with the news segment. We are on Strasnoy Boulevard right now. That comes down from Tverskaya Street, and we are moving towards. Ань, what is the name of that boulevard? Petrovsky Boulevard. I will film there also. And the next news, dear friends, is about some internal conflict that is taking place in Kiev among local leadership, and none other than economists, by the way, Western propaganda outlet wrote about it a piece. And let me give you some details. Russian media, of course, pay attention to this article in Economist, and it is interesting. It is interesting. May not become as a big surprise for us, because I was reporting so many times about internal conflicts that are taking place, that is taking place in Kiev regime. But nevertheless, this is Western media outlet. Let's see what they have to say about it. So, Ukraine pledged by the palace politics and the purges, according to economists. Ukraine's leadership is increasingly mirrored in palace politics, bitter infighting, and purges that threaten to fracture the country from within. The Economist reported on Sunday, citing multiple sources. Much of the turmoil is reportedly linked to Andrei Yermak, the powerful head of the Vladimir Zelensky's office. And Yermak is definitely a powerful figure, probably most powerful figure in Kiev-controlled territory, even more powerful than Zelensky, because even Ukrainian journalists and bloggers are acknowledging that he has quite an influence on literally everything and everyone in leadership, including on Zelensky too, himself. And this, according to Kommersant, this figure, Yermak, is seen as actively sidelining other key figures close to Ukrainian leader. So he is fighting for power, for more power, and not surprisingly, he is using his position to sideline or push out just about everybody that he considers to be a threat, right? And while Russia continues to push back Ukrainian forces along the front line, the deepening political chaos in Kiev could spell even greater danger for Ukraine, the outlet stated. According to The Economist, the internal rift was illustrated by the three developments last month, for example. Reports of an impending cabinet reshuffle with Yulia Sviridenko tipped as next prime minister, yet another failed attempt to remove Ukraine's spy chief Kirill Budanov from position of head of main intelligence directorate of defense ministry, and most notably the corruption charges against the deputy prime minister Alexei Chemishov. And well, there's quite a big article. I can go into more details here, but it is interesting to just notice that well, internal confrontation on Kiev-controlled territory is quite noticeable. Is becoming quite noticeable even in the Western world, and the Western media outlets no longer ignoring these developments. Maybe because they've been ordered no longer to ignore this subject. That's a possibility also, especially if we keep in mind that this hit piece basically on Yermak and I will argue on Zelensky tour from Kommersant may be authorized by British elites, let's say, right? Economist is a British media outlet, isn't it? And who is serving as a Ukraine's ambassador in UK? Former head of Ukraine's general staff, Zaluzhny, isn't it? Who was considered and still is, I believe, considered by London as a replacement for Zelensky. Question is, will Washington agree on that or not? That's a whole different topic, but maybe with this hit piece, London is preparing ground for a possible big reshuffle in Kiev, which will take down not just this figure that I already mentioned, Yermak, but potentially Zelensky too. Maybe that is the case, because it is highly unlikely that Economist just randomly published a hit piece, right? This kind of stuff is not happening. So there is some forces behind this new narrative that is being created by British media. Anyways, let me continue. Let me continue with some more news. And Tucker Carlson had an interview, by the way, with the president of Iran, Pezeshkian, and several short clips were published of this interview. I saw some of them on Telegram today, and in one of the clips, Pezeshkian confirmed that basically Israel tried to kill him during 12-day war. Tucker Carlson asked about it, and Iran's president said, yes, there was an attempt on his life by Israeli side. He was at the meeting with other officials of Iran, and exactly at that point, area where this meeting was taking place in Tehran was targeted by Israeli forces. And he survived, and I have no reason to doubt this report much, because there was also additional reports that from many media outlets that it's not just Pezeshkian, but Israel also attempt to kill Abbas Araghchi, foreign minister of Iran. He also escaped, and even though Israel was somewhat successful in this targeting killings of Iranian scientists and there are some officials, many designated targets designated by Israel actually survived. And even though Israel claimed at one point that they managed to kill these people, eventually they end up being alive, right? So also some nuances, by the way, of that 12-day war, and as time goes by, we will learn more and more about it. For example, just day before yesterday, one of the media outlets, I can't remember which one was, reported, based on satellite imagery, that at least 5 military objects were successfully hit by Iran during the retaliatory missile strikes on Israel. At least 5 military facilities, right? And this was confirmed by Western media outlet based on satellite imagery. Nuance that we did not know for sure, because Israeli side did not report about it, right? Did not acknowledge that any facility was destroyed at all. So yes, Israel tried to kill not just military leadership, not just of Iran, not just scientists, but also political leadership, and in majority of the cases failed to achieve their goals. A few more news, dear friends. Kremlin has declared its desire to maintain allied relations with Azerbaijan. Moscow strives to maintain partnership and allied relations with Baku. Russian presidential Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov emphasized at the briefing. He was asked obviously about this current escalation between Baku and Moscow. Obviously, public is interested, the media is interested, and as I said in my previous updates, every statement that Russian leaders made, Russian officials made in regards to this escalation, every statement was very diplomatic and cautious, I will say, because clearly Moscow don't seek no escalation. It's just too clear, isn't it? Why would Moscow seek escalation, by the way? It makes no sense, right? But who seeks escalation is London, right? And unfortunately, London has quite a strong presence in Azerbaijan for decades at this point. London went into Azerbaijan almost immediately after Soviet Union collapsed and has a strong presence, by the way. Azerbaijan is a rich, energy-rich country, and BP is a main partner. British Petroleum is a main partner of SOCAR company, which is Azerbaijani company which operates in energy field there, right? So, as I said in previous updates, London wanted this escalation. They used their proxies in Turkey, in Azerbaijan, and they escalated. And I'm afraid, despite these polite statements of Moscow from Moscow, relationships between two countries were damaged seriously, and I guess Azerbaijani leadership even crossed the point of no return. So therefore, I wouldn't expect any significant de-escalation or the improvement of the relationships in immediate future. It's just not happening, and maybe it would not happen until as long as Ilham Aliyev is the president of Azerbaijan. That's how badly Baku struck relationships with Russia. Under orders of London, by the way. I have no doubts about that, right? And nevertheless, to confirm that Moscow is not seeking escalation and did not really seek escalation with Baku, we have reports that Russian Emergencies Minister Alexander Kornikov has arrived in Baku, by the way, to participate in a meeting of the International Civil Defense Organization's Ministry's press service told the TASS news agency. So, Russian minister went to Baku. This is definitely a gesture, a positive gesture, demonstration of friendly attitude from Moscow, but yet again, Ilham Aliyev and President of Azerbaijan and his inner circle did tremendous damage to relationships with Moscow, and I don't think Russian president will be able to just give him a pass on that. It's not happening. We're not gonna hear some extremely strong statements from Moscow. It's not Moscow style, really. But I doubt that these relationships will be improved anytime soon. Until Aliyev is in power there, relationships are done, I think. And by the way, what Baku did, it just first stage of this plan that London has, right? Something else to be expected also. We don't know what is going to be next phase of escalation. What should we expect? But no one should think that this is just one-time strike that we are observing. No, definitely London has a complex plan in place, and well, one may only hope that while attempting to achieve whatever goals London has, they would not blow up entire Southern Caucasus region, because, as I said many times before, this region is extremely tense, right? Extremely complex, and unfortunately, quite easily might end up in massive hostilities between the countries and inside the countries, and it's too complicated place to mess around, really. So hopefully we would not see some major regional escalation there, but risk is quite high, I think. And I guess this is it for a new segment for now, dear friends. I will monitor media outlets. I'm continuing to bookmark news for tomorrow's live stream, and while we are walking on the streets of Moscow, I will continue to share some more information time to time. Usually this walk around takes for us like 4 or 5 hours, because we do like to just go for a walk in a city, and it's a good stuff, isn't it? I mean, you are relaxing. Physically, you might get tired after 3, 4, 5 hours of walk, but when there is such a nice scenery, by the way, right? Good weather, you are relaxing. Actually, physically, maybe you getting tired, but mentally, you are actually relaxing. So all of you understand what I'm talking about, isn't it? So, okay, I will pause, or you know what? Let me also film for you, before I end the news segment, let me just film for you what I see right now. Turn the camera. I like this place, by the way. It's very nice area. As entire central part of Moscow is, by the way, an entire city, I would say. You know. So let me film for you this square. I mean, let me show you. That's the boulevard that we just walked through. It's Petrovsky Boulevard. There is another boulevard, by the way, Tsvitnoy Boulevard. In that direction, you can see all that green line is a boulevard, and this is a Trubnaya metro station right there, and square right next to metro. And this building is a theater building. There are many theaters, obviously, in the city, and this one is one of them. So, okay, old and new architecture, by the way, side by side, you know, and it does works. It does works. So, okay, I will pause now, and we'll continue in some other place.